Hello everyone, Alec DeLorean here, and I hope you're having a wonderful day so far. Now in today's video we have the Grozz for or against video, in which we go through all of his pros, cons, what mods he has, well, legendaries, and then we go into the final thoughts in it if we decide if he is a meta hunter, or also if you need to level him up for him to be viable, or if you can keep him at level 1 and still destroy. But before we get into it, if you would like to join the Patreon, Discord, or become a channel member, the links are in the description below. And if you enjoyed this video, this content, and all things Star Wars and Marvel related, be sure to like and subscribe, and I will see you in the video. Okay, so Grozz, for or against? And we're going to start off with the pros. So pro number 1 is survivability. The best thing about Grozz is definitely his survivability, because he does lack in a lot of areas, but survivability is one of his key points, because if he didn't have that, he'd be useless. So he has a range of stuff that he can do that just keeps him alive, especially like his self-heal and stuff. For example, the next one is the self-heal / damage reduction, because I also put this in here because yes, self-heal is really good, and he heals a lot, to be fair, nearly just as much as Char on a good day. But it also, people miss out that he has a damage reduction for his self-heal. So at a low level, I think it's 35%. So whilst you're healing, you take 35% less damage. And then once you've leveled him up all the way to 6, that ability goes from 35% all the way up to 50%. So you take half of the damage that you should be taking during that time. So if you stood in a pill bush ultimate, the best time to heal is on it before you take the damage, because you're more likely to survive at that point rather than waiting to take the damage and then heal back up, because a lot of the times you still might die anyway from pill pushes up, but if you're healing during it, then the 50% damage reduction is a very big part. And I feel like people forget about the damage reduction and just assume it's a self-heal. And then the next one is his ultimate is really good on small maps. I say small maps because in my head I'm thinking of Vespara Row. Vespara Row is super good for Grozz, probably his best map, because it's so compact, so small. There's little rooms that you can throw your ultimate in, because if you throw with the best thing about Grozz's ultimate is it can be used more than once, essentially. Like if you throw it at someone, it hits them, they go down, bounces off a wall and comes back and hits them again. You're getting 2 times value on that. So it makes sense on small maps that Grozz is really good, because you throw it in a room and the boulder's just bouncing on wall to wall and the enemies can't do anything about it, essentially. So he's really good on small maps, especially his ultimate. And then he has some really nice skins. Every time he's in the Arena Pass, I think I've always put his Arena Pass skin straight on. Like I remember Season 1, I put his Arena Pass skin on. Season 2, I also put his Arena Pass skin on. I think I'm still repping the Season 2 one. But yeah, he's got some really nice skins, and I really like that about Grozz. And then another one is his Upheaval for the slow. I really like Upheaval. It's my favorite ability for him. I don't do it for the damage, I do it for the slow, because a lot of the times you struggle to get to people. And if you do get to them, they can easily like run away or something. Like Zayna can just roll away, Scar can dash away, Reeve can just dash away. But the Upheaval applies to slow, and if you work around that, the slow is really noticeable. So if you're a new toonie, you're screwed, because you don't really have any mobility. But I really like Upheaval, and it's probably his best ability. And I was going to leave it there, but I just wanted to put another one in, which was he's a Wookiee. He's a Wookiee, that's cool, right? It has to be a pro, because Wookiees are awesome. But with all pros, there are always cons. So the first con for me is he's bad in lots of situations. There's so many times when there's a whole handful of hunters that would be better in every other situation that comes up in the game. Like, especially straight off the bat, if you see what map you're playing on, if it's an open map, there's no point picking Grozz, because enemies will be able to take you out, at least get you to like half health before you actually get into the fight, which is really annoying. And there's a bunch of other stuff where he can't continuously be on top of people, because he doesn't have burst damage. And when he does get into starting doing damage on people, it's a slow, over time, gradual damage. Like his swings aren't, his basic attack isn't actually that good in terms of damage. The best thing about it is that you get that little slow. And like I was saying, yeah, it falls off on larger / most maps, because like if you're picking Vandal really hard, if you're picking Grozz on Vandal really hard, you're setting yourself up for failure. Bad in lots of situations is basically just an overall thing. But yeah, his basic attack doesn't output much damage, which is a struggle, because once you finally, after 10 years of charging to someone, you get to them, and then they they don't take like any damage because he doesn't do much damage, and then they can just get out of there real quick whilst you're still stuck there, and you just have to, all right, well, I guess I keep running again. So that's that. And then he's really bad on Squad Brawl. His Squad Brawl is probably his worst map. He's pretty good on dynamic control because everyone wants to be in one area, and Grozz is all about being up in people's faces, so they're naturally just coming to you. Whereas Squad Brawl, Squad Brawl, you could be anywhere on the map, so you don't need to be in a certain area, so you can just keep your distance from Grozz and still do really well. So if Squad Brawl comes up, I wouldn't pick Grozz unless it was maybe Vespara Row, but other than that, yeah. And then, does Grozz have any good mods? Legendary mods, sorry. So the first one, Wookiee Destruction, he has a mobility effect of plus 10% movement speed, plus 10 melee damage, and then minus 50 health. That's a lot of health, I will say that. But think of it like this. Grozz already has the most health in the game as like a base stat, right? You lose 50 health, you're still going to have a lot of health compared to everyone else. So the 10 melee damage also already helps with his low output damage, but the 10% movement speed is the most important part, even more so than the damage, because a lot of the times he can't get to people, and then when he does get to them, he struggles to stay on top of them because he's so slow. So the movement speed is the key part of this legendary, and then the melee damage is like a bonus, and the 50 health is, it's whatever, right? Because you've got so much health. So I like the sound of this one. I haven't got any mods for Grozz currently, but if I was to pick my build, I think I would run this one. And then the next one is, it's just straight up mobility effects. No cons, no nothing. Plus 0.15 seconds slow duration, which is very, very good. The best thing about Grozz is he's able to slow people with like everything he does, and I really like that. And overall, because you can do everything that you're doing with Grozz is applying a slow, you're getting that extra 25% slow effect. So this is probably his best mod. I really, really would like to use this when I actually get around to doing Grozz's mods, but Grozz is probably going to be my last hunter to get mods on. And then the last one is Wookiee Vitality 1, which is plus 40 health but minus 5% combat speed. Now, we don't really need the extra health because we've already got a lot, and you lose out on 5% combat speed, which is probably his most important stat that you'd like to get up. So this is, I would stay far away from this legendary. This is really, really bad. I would not recommend this one. The other two, though, I could get behind, especially this one. And then if you're really, really worried about health, then this one would be fine to drop. But I think these two, there's too much. These are too important for the 50 health to be a crazy thing because it's a tank. He's already got a lot of health anyway. Whereas if this was Reeve, who's already squishy, 150 health or whatever, this is a make or break. This would be a really bad mod for Reeve, but there you go. So overall, I think he has very good legendaries. He's got 2 good legendaries and 1 really bad one. So I think, yeah, he's got some good legendaries. So if you have spare chips and you want to get some legendaries on Hunter, Grozz would be a good shout. And then into our final thoughts. There you go, Grozz. He's not meh. He can do really, really well in the right hands, but to do really, really well, you have to try really, really hard. Whereas there's other hunters where you don't have to try as hard and you can still outperform a Grozz. He falls off on so many maps, he falls off on so many modes, and he's just a struggle to play against a lot of the hunters in the game, especially ranged. Melee hunters struggle in the game at the minute, and Grozz is probably the worst melee hunter in the game. So yeah, he's not meta. I'd never pick him in ranked ever. There's just better options in every scenario than him. So yeah, that's that. He's not meta. Do you need to level Grozz high for them to be viable? And I said no. I had a look at them, and 2 of the abilities, level 1 is perfectly fine. I think it was the self-heal that is the most important, but even so, because at level 1, 35% damage reduction versus level 6, 50% damage reduction. It's still a lot at level 1, and that's the only ability that is really, really good leveled up. But the other 2, you don't really need to level up. So I think, yeah, a level 1 Grozz can still do just as well as a level 25 Grozz. I would level him up decently fast if I were you, but there's no rush to get him to 25. Maybe if you get him to 15, that'd be a bit better, but yeah, his main thing is that self-heal. Leveling that up pretty fast is pretty decent because more health is really good and more damage reduction is really good. If you care about them, then yeah, level up Grozz as high as you can, but for the other two abilities, it's not as important. And there you go. There is my Grozz for or against video, and I would say I'm against Grozz. I've been against Grozz since the very start of the game, season 1. Really didn't enjoy him. With the mods included, I can see him doing a bit better, but yeah, there's still just much better hunters out there that can just do everything better than him. So I'm not a Grozz player. I don't enjoy him. Not a Grozz enjoyer, but yeah, there are some good Grozzes out there, but it's quite rare to see them. But I won't keep you any longer though, so if you would like to join the Patreon, Discord, or if you would like to become a channel member, the links are in the description below. And if you enjoyed this video, this content, and all things Star Wars and Marvel related, be sure to like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video.